your New Year's off to a good start. Don't want to waste too much of your time because we got a lot to talk about here. So let's get straight into it with Thursday numbers here. 45, 37, the high and low respectively at BWI on Thursday, right around averages for this time of the year. Made great progress, continuing to make great progress in terms of the drought situation. It's basically gone for the time being, so we will definitely take that. Lows across the state on Thursday, 20s, 30s out west, 40s around the metro areas and by the water, otherwise mid to upper 30s across a good chunk of the eastern two-thirds of the old line state, getting up into the 40s for a good chunk of us, 20s out in our higher elevations in Garrett County, and then upper 30s around Cumberland. Biggest jump was Salisbury. Start out at 35, got up to 48 on Thursday. As we head into the weekend, however, things do take a 180. Snow threat plus potential for icing as well, especially out west. In the metro, a little convoluted, and then for everybody else, it's plain rain. We'll talk more about that in a second. After that, we do have a chance at more rain, generally speaking. It's going to be a rain event, at least in the early preliminary model runs that I've been witnessing and others have been witnessing as well. That's going to be for Tuesday, and that can bring some substantial rainfall within its own right. Let's talk about the main event here. This is what's coming up this upcoming weekend. Forgive me for the timelines. I didn't update this. I'm recording this on Friday morning, actually, so you'll be seeing some more recent information, so to speak, here. So ignore this Thursday stamp. This is actually Friday, the time of this recording when you're seeing this. Cold front pushing east. That's our winter system. And heading into Saturday, it's going to be a messy weekend. Ignore that Friday tag. This is Saturday, and it's the system moving in. It will cause a plethora of issues. Let's talk about them in detail right now. GFS and Euro. They have been agreeing but yet disagreeing at the same time all week. And this is a little bit of the same deal here, to be honest. GFS is being a little bit more generous in terms of the rain snow line as compared to the Euro. You can see that here reflecting in the snow totals. GFS is really pushing some higher snow totals out in our western counties, and the Metro is a little bit more generous as compared to the Euro, which is being a little bit more stingy. I would say take the averages, or take the average, so to speak, from the GFS and the Euro, and I think that's the scenario that we are going to get. Mainly snow for western Maryland, mix in central Maryland, and also the metro areas more specifically. Everybody else, mainly rain. Eastern Shore, Southern Maryland, Delmarva. That is what you should expect as well. I think that 5-inch total is a little bit stingy. Actually, I think it might be a little bit more on the right side, to be honest, because that could be an average between the GFS and the Euro. So I think 5 inches average should be a fair estimate for the higher elevations. Maybe up to 6 or 7 inches, perhaps, if we do get lucky in those locations. But even then, I can just point to winter storm warnings right now, and I can actually pull up the advisory. So hang on a second. I'm going to pull this up for you, and we could talk about this real quickly. Winter weather advisories. This is Garrett County. This is 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. in Garrett County. By the way, I just want to make that clear. 4 to 6 inches, 1/10 of an inch of ice potentially on top of that. So be mindful of that along the east of Keezers Ridge. More winter weather advisories. Baltimore County is a separate deal. 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Saturday, 1 to 3 inches, highest amounts near Mason-Dixon. And then for Montgomery County, Northern Montgomery, Northern Howard, and Northern Hartford counties, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., the winter weather advisory is in place. Slippery road conditions, 1 to 3 inches, potentially a light glaze as well. So be mindful of that in Northern Montgomery, Northern Howard, Northern Hartford counties as well. And then we do have winter storm warnings in Allegheny, Washington, Frederick, and Carroll counties. That will go from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturday. 3 to 6 inches is a general consensus here with this warning. Ice could be up to 1/10 of an inch. Best chances for the highest accumulations of each will be along and east of the Catoctin Mountains out in Frederick County and getting into northwestern Carroll County. So Camp David, Taneytown area, you got to be mindful of that as well. Thurmont, that could be a problem as we do head into Saturday. Just keep that in mind. Ravens game is going to be a little bit dicey. We'll talk about that in a second. But first things first, let's get back to these graphics here. Let's talk about Ravens game here.
The hay's in the barn!
Now that we have it up, and it brought it up conveniently for us, looking at the Ravens game versus the Steelers at the bank, you are a brave soul if you're going to be heading out there. Prepare for wet weather. The rate snow change will likely be happening, if not already happened by this time, but I am keeping the chance of some flakes being around kickoff at 4:30, but it should be rain by that point. It will be chilly. It will be damp and cold. So good luck hanging out to the bank. And also, by the way, travel is strongly advised right now that you do not travel. At least not right now, but on Saturday. It's not advised that you travel. 81, 70, US 15, 68. You don't want to travel out there in Western Maryland. And even east of that rain snow line, it's going to be rain, it's going to be slippery conditions. So you have to be mindful of that if you are traveling. I would say don't, but if you have to, just be safe and keep that in mind.
You like that? You like that?
Cowboys Commanders, last game of the regular season and the season overall for the Commanders. Cowboys are already in the playoffs. They can win the division with a win in this game on Sunday, but maybe some clouds around. Should be nice in Landover. Maybe we have a slight chance of precip, but I don't want to take too much stock into that. I think we'll have some clouds, at least to some degree. Disregard the sun icons on there. There will be some form of cloud cover, I feel like, heading into Sunday behind this system. So take that with a grain of salt, if you will. Mitchell meter for the weekend, I'm going to be honest, it's looking nasty. It's a 2 for the weekend. It's Saturday alone just brings it down. And then the next 7, we're looking at a 4. It's fairly mediocre. It's not looking great. We have another rain chance on Tuesday that, even though I didn't go into too much detail on because we have this system coming up, could bring an inch of rain to some areas across the old line state. So do keep that in mind. It could be very, very messy for the upcoming days ahead. So we have that to deal with. Just buckle down and hopefully we'll get past this. Obviously, because of the threats on Saturday, it's a weather alert day. So needless to say, because of all that was mentioned in the previous minutes that I've been talking to you, there's a weather alert day for Saturday statewide. Whether you get rain or snow, it's going to be a problem. There's that Tuesday system, could bring some pretty substantial rains with it, and then we finally push away with this precipitation chance, at least temporarily, heading into the later portions of the work week. Out west, Tuesday, Wednesday could be a little tricky. I think there could be a mix, but that would be confined to the higher elevations at this time. But even then, a lot of things can change. So, as always, stay tuned to a source of weather information out there in the western counties, as that can be a problem as well. And then just rain in the eastern shore and the Delmarva. Fairly messy for what it's worth. So, there's that. I hope you have a great weekend. Be safe. Stay inside. Don't travel if you don't have to. It's not going to be pretty on Saturday. And even Tuesday, not looking the best. Be safe. Go Ravens. Stay warm. And take care. I'm Jay Mitchell from 4-0 WX.